Welcome to Positive Living. I am Keith Russell Lee, and I am so glad that you've decided to join us in this second installment. We left off in the inaugural installment talking about life, and based upon the introduction in my book, The 14 Principles to Power, Faith, and Living, which is available here on thespiritofrenaissance.com, and I want to encourage you to get a copy of it. But we left off talking about life. And how would we define life? Life in the Greek is zoe. It's a life that is enriched, fulfilled, meaningful, and purposeful. And it's that kind of life by which we were created to live. A life that is psych, jazz, and juice. A God kind of life. Matter of fact, Jesus declared that I've come that you might have life and have life abundantly. Life that exceeds the norm. Life that is overflowing. So we talked about that in our last segment. And we raised a question. And that one question is, why is it that individuals do not live life fully? What is preventing them from really living as God has intended? You know, as opposed to what Thoreau had declared, that men lead lives of quiet desperation. And the answer to that question is this. That the reason why we have not fully embraced life is because we have not tapped into who we are as spiritual beings. Now, this is a fact, folks, that we are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience. But yet we have been so conditioned by the world, and even by our religion, that tells us that we are just passive voyagers or voyeurs in this world, just going through the motions, and one day, someday, on some glad morning when this life is all over, then we will be with God, and then we will truly live, and then we'll truly have a spiritual experience. Well, that's not what Jesus taught. Jesus declared that the kingdom of heaven is within. Matter of fact, he gave us the Spirit. Yes, the Holy Spirit is the full presence of God. And it's in that full presence of God we live and we move and we have our being. And it's in that Spirit that we connect with the Father. Because see, the reason why we have not embraced life is because we have not really truly connected spiritually. And we all have a need to connect spiritually. That is why we can amass so many other things and still be empty inside. That's why we can do great achievements and do wonderful things and still there is an emptiness, because the only thing that really fulfills is when we are spiritually connected to the Father. And that is what Power, Faith, and Living is all about. That's what the 14 Principles of Power, Faith, and Living is all about in my book. And it's about teaching us how to really connect on that spiritual level, that we can raise then our consciousness to fully embrace life. Because the reality of the fact is that we've been so conditioned by the world that we are living at a low consciousness. A consciousness that accepts the idea that sometimes up and sometimes down and sometimes level to the ground. A consciousness that says that it's okay to be a day late and a dollar short, or maybe God is working something out, as opposed to saying that I have made you to be the head and not the tail. To be above only and not beneath. So we've got to raise our level of consciousness, but the way that we first of all do that is by our connection spiritually with the Father. Well, that ends this segment, but I'm going to pick it up again tomorrow. Live with faith and power and continue to create a phenomenal life. I am Keith Russell Lee.